capes and conundrums. "Well, this is another for the bucket list of things I didn't expect to be doing," Robin notes as he stands guard outside the room, where things are rather shouty, but mostly going well. Higher or lower than playing the part of a supervillain in a planetary capital built in a gigantic obsidian cave where one of the frequent weather patterns is a volcanic blast wave capable of throwing the apocalyptic serpents like ragdolls? Pavel asks, and Robin slowly turns to give him a baleful look. "Serious question?" "Fine. If it's a serious question, then it depends if higher means more likely or less, because I expected maybe playing guard outside of family drama well before anything else we're doing on Skathak," Robin says. Still a little salty that the alien kid with claws on his face has a better family, Pavel begins to ask, but Robin's glare now includes literally glowing eyes, and the man wisely shuts the hell up. It's nearly at the end of their shift when everything finishes up, and the large family leaves, and Dr. Malaise sighs as she stops between them to watch the family leave. "That doesn't sound good," Pavel notes. "A lot of classic mistakes were made, the sorts of things that will take years to fully sort out, and exactly the kind of situation where I can't help much more without becoming someone they depend on, or other issues," Dr. Malaise says, and there's some nodding. "So, will you be seeing them again?" The new family plan is to cut the vacation short and help him catch and domesticate his new Tharasso wings. Not what was expected," Robin notes. "Considering how you were almost demanding for him getting emancipated and cutting all contact, I'm going to count that as a major win for the family." Robin notes. "Not everything is a drama or devolves into a horrific situation. Sometimes mistakes happen, and thank the goddess that this time it was just that." "Bad experience on the other end?" Robin asks, and then receives a threatening wave from Dr. Malaise's clipboard. "Oh no, I'm not going to feed that interest in shattered family lives. What happened to you and yours was a tragedy that is thankfully rare for all the attention it draws. So don't try and make yourself think that it's something you should see everywhere," Dr. Malaise states, and Robin shrugs. Do I really seem to be hoping for things to turn out badly? If not hoping, then a little too eager to see it or fight against it," Dr. Malaise says, and Robin considers. "However, I'm willing to take it on good faith that you're simply vigilant in case someone else is hurt the same way you were." "Oh, that's very generous of you. You put out benevolence and you encourage it in others. You don't make the galaxy a better place by treating everything like it's the most awful thing to ever exist," Dr. Malaise says, and Robin snorts a little. "Is it my name again? I can't help that my dignified family name sounds nearly identical to something in an Earth language." "I said nothing to that effect," Robin says, and he gets a sideways look from the Tret. "There are only so many sounds and only so many sound combinations and combination lengths before they get too long to be used in conversation. Of course, there's language overlap." "Once again, I said nothing," Robin states. "But I can still hear it," Dr. Malaise says, and Robin chuckles. This causes Dr. Malaise's own poker face to break, and she laughs with him. "Right, well, that mess is sorted out. At least it's sorted out as much as we're allowed to sort it. My shift ends soon and I need dinner. Care to join me?" he asks, and Dr. Malaise turns to him oddly. "Are you flirting with me?" "If you want, but I was thinking more as friends than as a date. Unless you want a date, then we'll need something other than the mess hall. It really doesn't matter where you go. You're going to inhale an unholy amount of food right in front of me and think it's a wonderful time," Dr. Malaise says. "You know, you're supposed to eat too when that happens," Robin notes. "I've already eaten today. If anything, I've eaten more than I've needed. You humans are terrible at portion control. We're not used to someone who nibbles their way through half a snack and calling it a meal," Robin answers. "Do I need to get a hose for you too?" Pavel asks in a mocking tone. "How much longer until your shift ends?" Dr. Malaise asks. 15 minutes, Robin answers. "Not worth waiting that long to bonk someone on the head then." too afraid to do it now? Robin asks. You're on duty, meaning you have to respond to any attack. Meaning in 15 minutes, I can safely bonk one of you. But until then, it's not safe. Dr. Malaise says before sighing. Something else wrong? Just thinking a bit. Situations like this are so very complicated, and generally you can only tell if the right or wrong move was made by the results that come from them. I can easily see how Albin's family hurt him. However, these techniques and considerations are the same as used for other members of his family that had good results. What hurt Albin helped others. Sometimes I think it would have been easier if I was a practicing surgeon rather than a psychologist. And I'd have an easier time as an athlete rather than an undaunted. But it's brought us both to where we are, and we are both stronger for it, Robin replies. Do you have to bring up that philosophy so often? Dr. Malaise asks. I'll stop preaching undaunted philosophy when it stops being relevant, Robin says. Still, I will admit I preach the wrong way with the kid. Maybe I should just stick to being a soldier, solicitor, and all-around supervillain, Pavel says, and Robin gives him a glance. What? You make a great Deathstroke. Dr. Malaise's laughter at that cuts off whatever Robin's retort is. He waits for her to stop, which isn't long, before having a new retort. You know, we do need a Harley Quinn. No, Dr. Malaise states, but it's perfect. She's a psychologist. You're a psychologist. She's a woman. You're a woman. Sweet goddess, are you really going there? Dr. Malaise asks incredulously. Admit it, Robin. You want to see her in the leotard. Pavel decides to stir the pot. And you don't? Robin asks as Dr. Malaise puts her hands on her hips and gives him a stern look. It does absolutely nothing to take away from the fact that she is a very beautiful woman. The sheer amount of TNA I've been seeing has inured me to it all. The man drones out. That and I'm seeing someone. I'm not entirely certain if I'm merely being mocked or if there's a serious proposition in this, Dr. Malaise states, and Robin smirks. Both. You're being mocked, but if you want to play, then I can play. Robin says, and Dr. Malaise considers. Well, you know, yes. I don't like hurting people or fighting, but I am willing to play. She doesn't actually ask, but the question is heard loud and clear. Damn, still another 6 minutes on shift. Not gonna end it early? No, this conversation is the limit. What is the human joke, dear Penthouse Forum? Dr. Malaise asks, and Robin slowly gives her an amused look. Several hours have passed and Robin is off duty, fed and now on a date with Alviara. However, since the traditional coffee or dinner date is a complete no-go, as she has an appetite that an anemic church mouse would consider lacking, they're instead spending some time learning about each other. Or more accurately, Alviara is introducing Robin to dozens of new musical instruments by the minute, as her tastes in music are eclectic, varied, and seem to hold no limit across species boundaries. So this isn't technically a song? Robin asks, as he pulls away the headphones for public use. The local library has a very well-stocked music section with numerous headphones that are free to use. This is a lecture in trill speech with musical accompaniment. Leave it to the Urthani to make tax reform sound like an elegant concert, the amused Alviara Malaise says, and Robin snorts in amusement. It sounds like an excellent way to toy with people without losing out. Explain to them that you only listen to lectures, and they think you're stuffy and boring, but it's all in languages you don't understand and has musical backing, so it could literally be a song about anything. If it's to a good beat, then there's no loss at all. Bah, that's trying a little too hard for a joke. It's better to just like all kinds of music. Try this. Alviara offers, and Robin puts down his current set of headphones and tries on the new pair. Mongolian throat singing and drums with a hint of xylophone? He asks. A lot of... And now there's a choir of women joining in as well as about 30 other instruments. It's a method that a lot of musical families use, Alviara says. The husband or son start off and then the rest of the family joins in around them to... The sudden intrusion of a particularly large soneer fluttering up and staring at Robin interrupts them. Robin speaks first. "Can I help you?" Well, the soneer says, before scrambling off and racing out. Robin glances out the window and sees the woman join up with a group of friends, who all laugh and joke among each other before another soneer is sent out and quickly rushes up to where Robin and Alviara are. "Young lady, you're being rude," Alviara chides her, and the soneer looks from her to Robin and back again before rushing off herself. "What are they doing?" Robin asks as he sees her rejoin the friend group, and the system start up again with a third, soon to be sent out. They're making bets with each other and trying to see if any of them have the courage to get anywhere. Young teenager sort of things. Is there anything I can say to get them to stop? Not really, but they're harmless. They barely have the courage to so much as speak with you, so they won't have anywhere near the audacity needed to do anything, Alviara tells him. "See? Here comes the next one. She'll come close. Watch for a bit and not say anything." True to Alvira's word, the next soneer rushes up, watches, stares, and then squirms as Robin just calmly returns her gaze, and she fidgets for a bit before rushing off back to the group. Seems kind of silly for me," Robin remarks. "You were young once," Alviara says. "To my regret," Robin notes, and she reaches up and flicks him in the side of the head. "None of that. We're on a date, you're not on my couch and spilling out your secrets." All right, sorry," Robin says before smirking. "Still, it is nice to see people have a better time than I did." "Oh my goddess, big man," Alviara groans, and he chuckles before putting a hand on her head, and before he can start to muss up her hair, she ducks away. Fine. I was just joking around. Just keep it as a joke, because that really kills the mood if it's real," Alviara says, and he nods. "Right, sorry. If you think I'm just screwing up, we can call this off and—" "Throwing in the towel already? Aren't you undaunted?" she teases, and he huffs in amusement. He then puts his hand on her shoulder and then steps closer to crouch down and be closer. "I can do so much more. The question is, do you? I've just spent 2 days trying to sort out a family's drama. Let's not rush into things like that," she says before he smiles. "Of course. Still, just music? What else are you for? Just motorcycles? Surely you have more hobbies." She turns back his question on him, and he nods. "Fair enough, but free running isn't something you should just take someone on." "Oh? Isn't that where you rush around through a dense urban environment?" "Yeah, but it's not a real thing in a city like this, where everything is far off the ground. Less to jump off of and big gaps between things, so it's more big jumps and not kipping up or other bits of fun," Robin says before the next soneer comes in to stare. "Although, you girls are as light as a feather and it can be modified." "What are you thinking?" Alviara asks, and Robin smiles. "Want to see just how I move without a motorcycle underneath me?" Robin asks. "Oh!" The soneer gushes, and both adults give her a sideways look. She zips out of there. "Did you have to phrase it that way?" Alviara asks. "No, but it's funnier than saying, 'Want a piggyback while I do some modified free running around the city?' I can't tell if this is a boy thing, a human thing, or an undaunted thing, and honestly, I don't care." "Yes," Alviara says as the small crowd of teenage soneer gets in earshot. "I would love to see how you move under me." The girls scatter with squeals of all type before anything else can be said.